Hello and welcome to another episode of Live with Chef HEFF. Today we're going to be making a roast beef sandwich with fresh roasted red pepper and on a toasted garlic bread with Swiss cheese, tomatoes, and lettuce. First thing we're going to do is chop up some garlic and onions to put that in the pan to start the roasted peppers. So the onion is sliced and the garlic is finely minced. The onion and garlic are just going to be for flavor for the roasted peppers. I also made a little bit extra garlic for the garlic bread. And now I'm going to start to cut the peppers up. So now that the peppers are cut up, I'm going to start putting them into the pan. You don't want to cut them up too finely because they're going to reduce down anyway, and you still want to make sure you have flavor for the sandwich. So now I'm going to turn on the stove. Let that warm up a little bit, and then I'm going to put a little bit of oil, some vinegar, maybe a little salt, and then I'll start with the garlic and the onions first. Get that all nice and hot. Put in the peppers to let that cook down, reduce, hopefully get a little char on the back, get it nice and flavorful. So I only put enough oil really just to coat the bottom of the pan, just basically kind of a splash of vinegar to give it a little bit of taste. Now I'm going to put some salt in it, again just for a little bit of flavor. I've never roasted a pepper like this before, but it should be interesting. Not that much salt, just something to give a little taste. Let that heat up a little bit before we put the garlic and onions in. So the oil's starting to cook, so we're going to put a little bit of the garlic in right now. Again, you don't want to put all of it in because you're going to use some for your garlic bread. A little bit of that in. Put the onions in. Heat them up for a little bit, let them reduce down, brown up, mix them up, get that all going for a couple minutes before you start putting in the peppers. This is just for like more of a flavor base. So now that the onions are reduced down a little bit, nice and soft, garlic's cooking pretty good, oil pretty good. Now I'm just going to add the peppers in. Throw them right on. Let them cook up a little bit, reduce down. Hopefully be able to get some nice, maybe a little bit of char if possible. Might have put a little too much oil into that. But if anything else, it should still taste good. So basically you put this on, just kind of mix it around a little bit here and there. Get them nice, soft, and reduced. While you're doing this, you can start to preheat your oven for your toasted garlic bread. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it at 400 degrees preheat. Get that going. Make sure there's nothing in the oven while you're doing that. I already did that first. So as you're doing this, just keep on checking on it. Instead, move it around a little bit. Get it nice and reduced, a nice flavor on it. For probably like 10-15 minutes, maybe a little long. And then we start our sandwich. While I'm working on roasting the peppers, I'm going to slice up some tomatoes and the lettuce. Personal choice, I love shredded lettuce instead of leaf lettuce, so I'm going to cut that into a nice shredded, way. And get that all done while the peppers are cooking, and then we can start to make our sandwich in a little bit. So the peppers are still roasting, still getting nice and reduced. You don't want to cook them too much. This is on a low temperature, but I'm sure you can hear the frying. As this is happening, the tomatoes and lettuce is cut. I also sliced up some more onions for the actual sandwich part of the meal. And I'm about to get ready to start my bread once the oven is ready. So the oven is ready and the bread is ready to be toasted. So what I'm going to do first is toast this on both sides for about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes. Get this nice little toast before I spread the garlic and butter on it. Get it nice and all in the crevices and really, enhance the flavor of it. So I'm going to put this in for about, maybe 5 minutes, maybe, it shouldn't be more than 5 or 10 minutes on both sides. Just get a nice cook on both sides. So the peppers are basically done. Still cooking in mine. I don't know if you can see, they're starting to char up a little bit on some of the outsides, which is good. Garlic's fully cooked, even maybe a little bit charred, but it's good. It's just flavor anyway. So just mix it a little bit. Oil's really kicking in there, getting the flavor all set. So as I'm cooking up the bread, just mixing this up. Once the bread is done, I'm basically just gonna, throw it all together in one quick thing. Have a nice sandwich. So in part of the preparation, what I do once the bread is almost cooked is I take the rest of the garlic that I chopped up and a piece of butter and I put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds. You don't want the butter to melt fully. You want to be able to mix it in with the garlic once it's nice and soft or soft enough. So now that the bread is lightly toasted, you really don't want to toast it too much because you are putting more ingredients on it. Just going to pour the butter and garlic over it. Try and get both sides. Maybe not enough garlic for that, but spread it around also. So spread it around what you can. Get this nice and covered. And you're going to put this in for 2 minutes tops, just to get the garlic and the butter cooking on the bread. And then what I'm going to do is put the Swiss cheese on this to melt it right onto the bread. And then we're going to, after that, then we're going to put on our roasted peppers and roast beef and let it simmer and should have a nice sandwich. As you're cooking all the other stuff, you'll notice that the peppers are done. They're charring up nicely and nice and soft. Maybe a nice different taste for your sandwich. Get all the flavors in there. Just mix around, put it on a low heat, maybe even just no heat right now, just kind of get all that flavor going together. So after you set the garlic butter in the oven, take it out after 2 minutes. And what I'm going to do is put the Swiss cheese on top of the bread. Fold it over. One piece on each side still. Again, it's just a preference. The more cheese you want, the more cheese you have. Unless you don't have any cheese left. So put this in there. Let this cook for about, 2-3 minutes. Whatever's melted. And then once it is, you take it out and start putting everything on the bread. So the bread is out. Cheese is nice and melted. Bread is nice and toasted. Now you can start to plate your sandwich. Basically what you do is, however you want to do it, I'm going to start with the peppers first. Put some peppers on. Some of the grilled onions is good. Let me get one of the orange peppers if I can find one. Okay. Do that. Some tomatoes. A little bit of the freshly chopped lettuce. Looks a little bit better than the sandwiches you might find at one of those fast food deli places, I think. Some onions on there. Trying to get the roast beef. That's why my camera's all over the place. Put 2 pieces, 2 or 3 pieces. I'm gonna put 3. And there you have it. A nice toasted garlic bread roast beef sandwich with roasted peppers. Now, you can put a little bit of Italian dressing on this, make your own Italian dressing, put any condiments you want, but this looks like a pretty good sandwich to me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to like and comment on the website, and please enjoy. Have a good day.